dead, where evil lurks in every shadow and monsters roam the streets, mankind's only survival rests in the hands of two Welsh warriors. Armed with boomsticks, chainsaws, bad language, these beacons of hope will stop at nothing to obliterate deadites, vampires, psychotic nurses. So, hold tight, strap in, and let the professionals take charge. Otherwise, you're in for a rough, blood-soaked night.
Hey. All right.
All right, Jenks.
We're live again. This is our sixth show, is it? Is that right?
Oh, 6, I think. 6.
Yeah. And you know
Sounds
what?
about right, Jenks.
By now, but after 6, we are awesome, and we're just flawless.
No more nervous poos, although you did dip 2 minutes before we went live.
I know. I'm not even nervous. I actually look forward to them, but I still get my stomach still feels nervous.
Yeah, it's just become a bit fun for me now. I feel like a pro in the waiting room. I'm just like waiting. Whereas beforehand, I think we would just sit there in silence for 10 minutes before we went live.
Yeah, sweating. Yeah. What have you been up to this weekend?
Hey,
what?
Well, I've got something I want to open with. I just seen the best interview ever. You know, Kate Blanchett, one of the most decorated female actors of all time.
She's in Hot Fuzz.
Yes, she
I'm
is.
I'm joking. I'm pretending as if that's the only thing she's in.
Well, I just seen an interview with her, right, where she was being asked what movie has got her the most money, so what movie did she get paid the most for? And the guy who was talking to her said, I can probably guess which movie it is. And she goes, oh, what? So he said, Lord of the Rings. And she went, oh, God, no chance. I got paid nothing for that film because obviously it hadn't kicked off at that time. The only reason I worked on Lord of the Rings is because I wanted to work with a guy who directed Brain Dead. And then she said, I got to keep my ears. I thought, that is the best thing I've ever heard. Kate Blanchett knows what Brain Dead is.
But she's in Australia or is she New Zealand? I forget.
One of the two, I think, yeah. Oh,
Same
yeah,
thing,
of course.
Debbie says,
of course, man.
Yeah, she's either an Aussie or New Zealander. Can't remember. Gun to my head, I'd say she's Australian, but I'm not 100%. Actually, she can't be Australian. She hasn't been in Neighbours or Home and Away because that's literally like the rule.
I remember arguing with my mother because we were watching a film with Guy Pearce in it, and she was like, oh, I know him, and I never trust my mother. She knows nothing, right?
Yeah.
And I know him, he was in Neighbours. I was like, shut up, Guy Pearce wasn't in Neighbours. Bloody Googled it. He was in Neighbours. Of course he was.
Of course he was. Yeah, showing your age now. I used to watch him, Mike something. And Russell Crowe's in Neighbours as well.
Oh,
Small
no
part. He was.
Really?
He came in like the cafe to have a fight with somebody.
Of course he did.
He did, yeah.
Was that before or after Romper Stomper?
It was around about the same time. And Thor's in Home and Away.
Yeah, I can picture that. I can picture Hemsworth in Home and Away.
Margot Robbie was in Neighbours.
Yeah. Actually, I know that one.
The blonde girl from... she was in like Transformers 2. She was like pretty blonde. She ended up being a robot in the college, like a pretend human.
Oh, I don't know her name, but I know who you're on about.
Very stunning. She's in loads of films, but she was in Home and Away with... She used to go out with Thor. What's his name? Chris Hemsworth.
Chris Hemsworth, yeah.
His name was Kim in Home and Away. Why are we talking about Home and Away?
I know.
It's a horror podcast. Yeah.
Right, I'm going to get some comments up, all right, Jenks?
Yes.
Hey, guys. Thanks for jumping on, Ab. Evening, Wendy. Thank you. We've got Gina in the house. Thank you, Gina. Welcome. And we've got Ella Star again. Thank you. Thanks for jumping on. Don't forget to send the like button. Oh, thank you so much.
Appreciate that.
We've got Eli Cortez, who I was just in TSL's chat with. Hiya, mate. How you doing?
Who I called Ellie last time. Apologies for that.
Bad shit,
I know.
Shit.
Sorry.
I do know some things, Curtis. There's me slagging my mother off, forgetting that she's probably watching
Forgetting
us.
that we're live. Yeah.
You know nothing. Right, Jenks, do you want to tell us what we're going to be talking about today?
Yeah, before I do, I just want to say, not that anyone gives a shit, but I'm really ill and I'm soldiering on. Yeah, I've been ill for the last. I was supposed to come up to see you this weekend, and I never cancel. But I've been coughing over you.
Oh, I was crying in bed when you cancelled.
But I'm soldiering on. Some might call me a hero. It's not for me to say.
It's not for me to say. That's up to you guys to decide.
Yes, decide in the chat. No. Awesome.
You're awesome, guys.
Thank
you, Don.
Cheers, Don. Just before we go on to our first review, just want to say, we were having about a 15-minute chat before we went live about Halloween, and we were talking exactly like the podcast. I was thinking, we genuinely do talk about horror. We weren't talking about anything else. Yeah. And then we come on the podcast live and we talk about Home and Away.
I know.
It's ridiculous.
Bloody brilliant.
Yes. Okay. Are you ready,
Welcome,
Kurt?
Ben.
So
I'm ready, boy.
We got a pretty straightforward show today. No trailer reaction because we keep getting stung by copyright.
Yeah, I'm not doing anymore.
It's not worth it. And so we got 3 reviews. First one up, we have The Substance. Now I watched this before you because I'm a proper fan. I absolutely love this movie. It stars Demi Moore, or Demi Moore, as Americans say. Yeah. Demi Moore, innit? And is it? Oh, I got gone blank now. It's
Margaret Qualley.
Margaret Qualley. She's from Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. She's very beautiful, and it's directed by. I'm gonna screw this name up because it's a strange name. Coralie Pasha.
Fargat.
No, it's Fasha. Something. It's like French. Fasha.
It's like Austin Powers. I Am Your Faja.
Yes, it's something like that. Anyway, she directed one of your favourite films, Revenge, which I watched in your house. Film. This lady director really knows how to direct female leads without shitting on men, and just builds them up, makes them strong, makes them weak, makes them great characters. I love this film. It's basically about Demi Moore plays almost like herself. She's like an aging movie star, like a big, massive Hollywood star, and she's pushing 60, I think, in it, maybe.
No, 50, 51 she is.
Yeah, in real life she's about 60, isn't she?
Yeah, but in the film she's 51, yeah.
Yeah, she still looks beautiful, but she's feeling the effects of age, and she's getting turfed out by younger models, and she takes this strange drug that basically produces another version of her, not necessarily a younger version of her, but uses the DNA to create another version of her, so it doesn't look like her. And they have 7 days where she's the duplicate, and then 7 days back to normal, and that's when things start going strange. What do you think of this, Kurt?
Oh my God, I can't even put into words how much of a masterpiece this movie is. It's
awesome.
One of those creepers that comes in at the end of the year. I hadn't heard much about it other than the few weeks leading up to its release. It's just one of those movies they chucked out at the end of the year. And I almost didn't watch it in cinema because I think I went to cinema 6 times in the space of a week and a half.
Yeah, you said.
And then The Substance was the last movie I needed to watch. And I thought, I just can't justify going to cinema again. So I might miss it, but then obviously you watched it before me and told me how great it was. And this movie is flawless. It disguises itself as an art house movie, but it's really a horror lover's film.
Yeah.
There's so much great cinematography in it. The score is amazing, but at heart, it is absolutely a horror film.
Oh, full on body horror.
Yeah, oh my God. Demi Moore in this film. I feel like she's been gone for 20 years.
Yeah.
And my first thoughts on this film, considering, the shit Demi Moore had to do in this movie, the transformation she goes through, the shit that she would have had to do on set, I just had to give her kudos for taking this role on.
Yeah.
You've got full nudity as well from both of them, which, hats off to them. It is, for the first half, a really good, gritty, well-made art house movie, I'd say, and then the second half is it matches Brain Dead for intensity and gore.
I think as well you got to give hats off to Demi Moore because it's showing her warts and all. She's still very attractive, she's still in good nick with her body, but it shows her naked and it shows all her flaws, you know, her lumps and bumps. And it's meant to show like that she's not young anymore. And it takes a lot of courage for someone like her to sort of do that and to make a film where she's going to be compared to a younger model. Because Margaret Qualley in it, she is absolutely stunning in it.
Yeah.
She's got fake boobs in it because I don't think she's got the same boobs as Demi Moore. But it's just like she is the perfect looking woman. So it must have been a tough ask to make this film, but it's been worth it for her because I think everyone's praising Demi Moore.
Well, yeah, definitely, because on the plus as well, like we said, we've got the plot where she's basically split into two. One takes control for 7 days while the other one lays dormant on the bathroom floor. You can see on the poster there. Yeah. That is how they lay for
spoilers.
7 days. No, I'm not going to give too much away.
No, I'm just saying we're not going to give any spoilers.
That is how they lay for 7 days, while the other version of themselves, which they've got, they're one person, they've got the same subconscious. That one will lay there for 7 days while the other one goes out to play. And the only thing I will say is the longer either one of them has in that body, if they go over their time limit, bad things start to happen. And I feel like Margaret Qualley stays the same, and Demi Moore is getting a bit more decrepit every single time she comes back.
Yeah.
And seeing her progression through the film and the shit she had to go through is just insane. This movie absolutely blew me away.
Yeah. Do you know the best way to describe this film? Because it's very hard. You can't give too much away. I think most people know that it's the trailer just shows it's like a little bit of a drug that does something. But everyone is talking about saying, oh my God, this is like proper horror. The best way I can describe it is a cross between Death Becomes Her, with this sort of like search for eternal youth, and The Fly with a bit of Brain Dead thrown in, especially towards the end. Yeah.
And at heart, it's about breaking down insane beauty standards that have been like handed down to women, and it's got such a powerful message in that sense as well. Obviously not something I can relate to, but I appreciated what they went for with it.
Yeah.
One thing I have to say as well, Dennis Quaid in this movie, again, what a performance. That scene, the first scene we see him where he's wolfing down, where they shrimps.
The prawns, God. Yeah, it's disgusting. And it's in his mouth.
A close-up of his mouth chewing these, and he's just talking fast and the spit coming out of his mouth. It's definitely the most disgusting scene in the movie. But did you know, right, that Ray Liotta was cast in that part before he passed away?
Is it?
Yeah.
Do you know what I love about this film as well? It's quite stylish in the way it's directed. Like I was trying to think of a film it compared to, because it reminded me of something, a certain way of filming, because it feels cartoonish, like nothing in it is real. So when it doesn't really explain what the substance is, where it's come from, because it's set in a cartoonish world, it doesn't really matter. You don't ask any questions because it's just very surreal. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, 100%. That's the first thing I thought when I came out of it was, this is not a world that we live in. It's nothing to do with anything that we know. And I'll throw out there again. It could have been like a VHS segment or a Death and Robot segment on Netflix.
Yes, 100%.
It's got that futuristic feel. I don't feel like it needed to be cut down into a short film. It worked perfectly as a feature-length movie. It comes in at 2 hours and 20 minutes. It's a long film for a horror film. But when I was watching it, I got those vibes where you could go in and watch a science fiction short movie. Do you know what I mean? Because it is a bit more sci-fi with the gore, obviously.
Oh, yeah. The what I loved about this as well, it opens debate, isn't it, about, like you said, the industry. I was chatting to my wife about it, and I thought, I suppose if you are beautiful, and that's one of the main hooks of you becoming an actress, like, not to say you can't act, but that's your selling point. You are absolutely stunning, like maybe Margot Robbie and things like that, or maybe Demi Moore when she started. And I suppose you got to treat it like a sports star, of that this career has a shelf life of maybe 20, 30 years, and you've got to make sure your affairs in order after that point, because it's either change your career path or change what roles you take, and treat it like a sports star, because every sports star knows 30 is like, the end of their tether, and I think it's the same with beauty, really, isn't it?
Yeah, because they do not beat around the bush. The movie starts, we've got Demi Moore doing her aerobic show. It's like an on-TV aerobic show. And she looks great. She still looks good and she
amazing.
performs well. And she goes into the back room with Dennis Quaid's character, and he just outright says, look, you're 50, you're gone. You're gone, like, we're bringing in someone young. But she's still kicking ass, and she still looks great as well.
Yeah.
But what the film does so well is it opens up with Demi Moore looking amazing, right? And then soon as she takes this drug and you've got this younger version, they come up with ways of making her look less. There's particularly, there's this one shot where she's sitting at the bar and she's got a dress where her back is revealed, and you can see all the creases and bones in her back as if she's looking a bit, you know, weathered.
Yes.
Whereas before this drug comes about, they present her to be at her peak and stunning, but it changes soon as Margaret Qualley comes on, you know?
Yes, yeah.
I love that aspect of it.
You can see this image now. You can see this very set in not a real world. Like, obviously, this is an exaggeration of these sort of, like, executive creeps, like, who are just all about money. Don't give a fuck as long as they make money, as long as sex sells and all this. And he's perfect, is it? He's so creepy.
Oh, he's so
and
good.
all these guys. It's so good.
Give us a smile.
Yeah, and look at this corridor, so shining, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. But that film encapsulates this film perfectly, because that is how every shot is, and that is how every corridor looks. It's set in a fictional world, and it does feel a bit cartoony.
Yeah, and you can get away with not flaws, but you don't have to question everything if it's a cartoony world. A little bit like you said with a segment from VHS or any. The shorter the segment, the less questions you ask. I suppose this was 2.5 hours because it's cartoony world. You don't ask questions. What is the substance?
100%.
You know, who cares? Doesn't matter. It's
we don't know what it is and we don't care.
Did you also, this is not a spoiler, when she gets the substance kit with all the different, did you think like, that's confusing. How the fuck does she know?
Oh, the first thing that came to my head was, I'd have to give up straight away.
Oh, I'd have to. Is there a YouTube video I can watch?
Yeah.
Showing me what to do. It's really.
Honestly, I couldn't put together chest of drawers.
Do you know, right? I really loved this film, and it was almost 5 stars for me. I would probably give it solid 4 stars, 8 out of 10 if it was out of 10. The only reason it dropped a star for me, and I got to be very vague here, the end kind of went over the top for me. That's the only thing I can say about it. That was only thing.
Yeah. Obviously, 4 stars is still good. I'm not going to slag you off for giving it 4 stars. The only thing that pisses me off, right, is that you give Strange Darling 5 stars.
That I didn't have any flaws.
Obviously, we have different opinions on movies. You're allowed to like a movie that I don't like. But the only thing I'm saying is that I watched this movie, I seen the best film of the year. I know I said this on the live last week when we reviewed Speak No Evil, but this was even more up my street. This is something that I usually gravitate towards. This was absolutely movie of the year. I feel like it's going to be one of those movies that defines a decade. 20 years from now, when you're watching a documentary about older horror movies, I feel like this is one that's going to be on those segments that really represents a decade or a year or a time.
Yeah.
And this is one of those movies to me. I watched it and I thought, oh my God, this is special and it's going to go far, I think.
And I really hope like that Demi Moore has a big comeback, you know?
Yes,
I hope like
definitely.
Tarantino puts him in his next film or
Yeah,
something.
yeah.
That would be perfect.
His last film.
Sorry.
Yeah, so this one gets an absolute 5 stars. Any movie I've given 5 stars this year is dropping to a 4 stars because it's not as good as this film.
Yes, I'd highly recommend this film. Do you know, I was just gonna say before we move on, I've noticed, and I could since maybe I said it last week, I can't remember now, but since there's no Marvel films dominating the box office, it feels like films like this are not afraid to step up and go into the cinema, because I think when Marvel was having 4 films a year and DC were having 2 or 3, it just felt like they were getting swallowed up, and they were maybe decent films are popping up on Netflix but getting lost in the mix. And now this year seems to be, it might be because we're doing a podcast this year, but it feels like it's a better year for movies.
No, I'd say last year as well. Last year, specifically the second half of the year, if you're looking at horror films now, I think horror has been for a long time on the rise again. And I think over the last few years, we've been getting some real big standout horror movies. Last year, Talk to Me, Evil Dead Rise, When Evil Lurks. This year you've got The Substance, Speak No Evil, Night Swim.
Night Swim. Baghead.
Taro.
Yes.
Absolute. This is the 5-star movie on this one.
Yes,
what I'm going to do is
let's see some comments, is there?
Yeah. Before we jump on to the next one, I'm just going to go through some of the comments.
We'll read one each, yeah? We'll go through it in turn.
There we are. We've got Abigail Palfrey, The Substance, my movie of the year. Absolutely insane. Definitely movie of the year.
Oh, pity for Speak No Evil. You loved that last week.
Hey, I still love it.
It's a piece of shit now, is it? 1 star!
Probably can't wait to watch this film. Well,
hang on.
I'm
a Vaja. Definitely one of the best horror films so far.
We've got someone who's seen it as well, Ella.
Yes, it's a cracking film. Definitely. I'm looking forward to watching this. Sounds wicked. Yes, highly recommend.
You're in for a treat. If you like movies a bit more disgusting, you're definitely in for a treat.
Yeah.
Hello, Hayley. You okay? Never eat shrimp again. I've never eaten shrimp, and I will now never attempt to eat shrimp.
Did you know, Curtis, that shrimp is an American term and prawns are the British term?
Prawn.
There's no difference.
All right.
If I'm wrong, somebody to say.
Hey,
pop up.
This is a movie review podcast, right? Not a food review.
No,
so don't go correcting the way I pronounce foods. All
I
right?
wasn't correcting you. I was just pointing it out. Just a little fact for you.
Look at this as well, right? The way the film makes food horrific is amazing, and that's where it gets its comparison to Brain Dead also, because everyone who I've shown Brain Dead to, who know me personally and know how much of a fussy eater I am, they all say the same thing. You watch this too young, and this is where your hate for food comes from. It's gotta be Brain Dead.
Yeah, and shrimp and prawns are... They look disgusting, especially when you... I love prawns, they're lush, but when you're pulling out the tail and it's just... You're seeing the food in his tongue. It's disgusting, you know? Oh.
I'll say it is a lot more classy than Brain Dead. There's small comparisons to Brain Dead.
Yeah, there's elements of Brain Dead.
Yes.
Overall, it's not really like Brain Dead, but there's some gore, especially towards the end, like Brain Dead. But it's more Fly, I would say. And the director, she said she's heavily influenced by The Fly and David Cronenberg.
Yeah, definitely. Speaking of Evil, Live a Day was outstanding. Amazing film. Definitely up there. Second best horror movie of the year. We've been getting some belter horrors last few years. 100% agree with you, Ben.
Yeah, totally.
Can't wait to watch Substance. Sounds the best horror. Maybe next weekend, Curtis. Yes, if it is available next weekend, I doubt it will be. We will watch it.
Yes. Right.
We are all caught up. It is time for our next review, Jenks.
And it is Never Let Go. How good's that cover?
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah, that's a cool
I know
cover.
the guy who does those. He's a guy called Creepy Duck. I follow him online.
Oh, it's awesome.
And he started off doing fan posters like this every time a new horror movie would come out. And he gets hired now. Every now and again, he'll say, "This is my official poster for Scream. This is my..." He's done all the VHS posters.
Yeah.
He is one of the best guys out there right now designing posters.
Pretty awesome.
Awesome.
Yeah, we both watched this about a week before it actually came out. Not because we're so high up on the review.
Jenks, we said we were going to say we got invited to the world premiere.
Scratch that. We were invited to the world premiere by the director. His name is, I'll try and pronounce this as well, it's Andre Aja, is that right?
Alexandre
Aja, close enough. And he did Hills Have Eyes, which I love.
Yes, Crawl, he done Crawl as well. And
yes, I like that.
Yes,
Crawl.
Crawl. And yeah, if you're going back to his French Extreme days as well, he done High Tension, which has got one of the best twists ever and really nasty French Extreme movie.
I've seen it. Switchblade Romance.
Yes. Haunt Tension. Yeah, loads of titles.
It's a good film, but it doesn't make a lick of sense, the twist.
Yeah,
it kind of undoes a hell of a lot of stuff. But he's a great director. 2 French directors in a row. Fair play.
Yeah.
Yes, this film, we watched this on a Odeon unseen Scream. Not very sophisticated.
Scream unseen.
Yes, only we were invited to the unseen Scream on the Odeon. And yeah, it was a great film, I gotta say. It looked pretty generic when I saw the trailer. Stars Halle Berry, and she's with her two sons, two twin sons, not real in real life characters, and they're stuck in this like a wooden house in the middle of the woods, and there's supposed demons outside, and they have to after hunting for food and berries to survive, and they got to keep these ropes attached to them. And once the ropes come off, the demons can get them. For some reason, the ropes are the barrier against the demons, and they've just been going in the woods every day looking for. But the only thing is, the mother, Halle Berry, is the only one who can see the demons, so you don't know whether they're real. It's in her head, and it's, you know, it looked pretty shit and generic when I saw a trailer, but pretty good, I thought. It's a very good film.
It is a very good film. I did enjoy it, and I initially, when I first seen it, I thought, that was a very good film. But I'd say the coming days after it, I started to forget about it a little bit. I think it's a really good first time watch. There's nothing really wrong with it, but I kind of forgot about it, to be honest.
Yeah, it's one of those films where I enjoyed it, and I didn't recommend it. So
yes, exactly.
You can still give it a decent score because it did deserve what we said. We'll say the score later on. But I think mainly I enjoyed it because I thought it was going to be very generic. I thought it was going to be a bit like The Watched or The Watcher that we watched a few months ago.
Very similar, wasn't it?
And I thought, this is going to be the same thing. But you know what? The demon, the woman, I think she's the ghostly mother, very Evil Dead.
There's no way that she gave birth to Halle Berry. There's no way. Yes, she was terrifying. There's some great moments in this film. It's really atmospheric. It's really well made. The woods is like Evil Dead type woods.
Yes, a living entity.
Yes, it's a living entity. You can feel every tree. You can feel everything in there, even though the kids can't see it. But yeah, there's some really great standout moments in this film. I will give it more praise than I did at the start because there are some great moments, specifically when one of her sons, I think they have an argument. They end up having an argument, and one of them pushes him, and his rope comes undone, and he falls down this bank. And as we were saying, there's this old woman who's like a ghostly presence,
like
or whatever,
demon-y sort of thing.
Yeah, and they've got snake features, which is really creepy. They've got like skin peeling, and underneath you can see like scales, and they've got like a snake tongue. So you don't really know what it is, but it's like a serpent type thing.
Yeah.
That bit was a real, because the kid's on the floor without his rope, and this thing starts creeping up behind him, and it's slithering, and
it's horrible.
That was a really like thing moment. Like
it's like an old fattish woman, like very much like Evil Dead, little bit like the one from Dawn of the Dead remake. It's a man really, or like even like Henrietta from Evil Dead 2.
Yeah,
not rotten, but I don't know. It was quite creepy. I thought much creepier than it needed to be.
What's really good about this film is that, as you said, Jenks, at the start, we don't truly know if this is real or not because she's the only person that can see these ghosts. These kids have been born and raised in this shack, and it's the only thing they know. But one of the sons, he's getting to the age now where he's starting to think that his mother isn't telling the truth. So he starts to get a bit rebellious, and that's kind of where the story goes. You've got one son who's die-hard on his mother's side, and then you've got the other son who's kind of being rebellious. You know, he's happy to take his rope off because he doesn't think it's real. Obviously not going to give anything about the ending away, but the ending did take me by surprise because you think it's going to go one way and it goes the complete other way, and it kind of shatters everything that the film built up at the end. For me, it was a really good film made better with a great ending.
I also think like the Halle Berry's a great actress anyway, okay?
Yeah.
But the son, the one with the bigger afro, his performance, oh my God, he was like the kid from Sixth Sense. Like he stepped up, like when he's screaming at his mother, so well
he's
acted.
had a hell of a year because he's in The Deliverance, the new Netflix movie. It's not very good at all.
Right. You did watch it, did you?
Yeah, I did, yeah. 2 stars.
Yeah, because you said you were going to watch it on the
What,
podcast.
to do it on live?
And then you didn't mention it again. Then
No, I was like, I don't know watch it. And to be fair, it was my girlfriend who pulled my arm. She begged me to watch it. The first half was good, but it kind of dropped off a cliff.
Yeah, I know. I said we should watch it just because we're doing a podcast and we should watch everything.
Yeah.
But there's other films to watch, you know.
100%.
Life's too short. Yeah,
We
but
watched this, definitely.
I did enjoy this film, and I if somebody was I think probably catch it on Netflix when it comes out at some point.
Yeah.
But I think yes, like I think you're right. It's a good film, but quite forgettable. Yeah, that the boy with the red coat, he was outstanding. So he's the one from Deliverance, is it?
No, sorry, his brother is the one with the yellow jumper on.
So the one with the red coat on, the son.
Yeah, he
the
was
twins,
great.
yeah, I think they are.
I think so. Yeah.
Oh my god, his performance was outstanding,
Yeah.
and the dog so well trained.
Yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, let's read some comments, shall we? Hang on.
We're all out, boy.
Enjoyed Never Let Go. It was quite forgettable.
Yeah. Yeah, when I first got out, I enjoyed it enough to be like, oh, that's easy 4 stars. But I think after pondering on it, it's more like a solid 3 stars for me.
Dropped a star. Is it because the substance was so good that everything has a knock-on effect now?
No, it was before I seen The Substance. I dropped it, to be honest.
After you watch Substance now, has Street Trash gone into the minus stars now? Is that
well, I found a few similarities between them, so it made me appreciate Street Trash more. Body horror, Jenks. Body horror.
Body horror. No, don't even put.
It is though.
Substance.
It is a body horror movie.
Yes. So what? Don't even put them in the same.
That's what I'm saying.
Category.
There's comparisons, right?
No way at all.
It's its spiritual predecessor. Yeah.
You cannot say this. Sorry.
Go on, carry on. What were you going to say?
You cannot say put the substance in the same. I put them in the same same sentence, but you cannot put them in the same category. One's a piece of shit, and one's awesome.
Yeah, but if we're talking about, if I give you a list of body horror movies, then I would be in my right mind to put those 2 movies together. My right mind.
Your right mind. Yeah, it was strange that film came out on the Odeon and. What's it called? Scream Unseen.
Scream Unseen, yeah.
Because it was only like a few days before it's meant to come out. It usually gives you a good month or 2, isn't it? As an early
it doesn't.
One.
No, not
my
that
experience.
Long. Week max.
No,
I'd say.
Definitely not. I saw that, you're talking about a month usually when I watched them. I watched that, what's it called? Ready or Not. Good month before it came out.
Is it? Yeah, but no one cared about that film, so it doesn't really
Ready
count.
or Not.
Yeah.
That was a great film.
I was thinking of Truth or Dare. Ready or Not's great.
Ready or Not's great. This wasn't so good, but it was the It Lives Inside. That was a good month, maybe 2 months. It was ages.
I don't think that even had a cinema release.
It was straight to your house, straight to your collection.
Straight to Gary's top shelf. No one would understand that reference.
No. Gary's Curtis's father, and he's got the worst taste. Got worse taste than Curtis. His shelf. Your father will buy stuff just because it's on sale. And I say, why have you got Ninja Terminator 9? Oh, it was £1. Like, so what? It doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
I used to do the same with VHS, so I used to buy any vintage.
Oh yeah,
just
of course.
to have.
I'm still like that now. I mean, not that bad. I won't buy shit just for the sake of it.
You've got 3 copies of Street Trash.
Yeah, because I love it. I love that film.
You don't need 3.
3 different editions, all right?
It might be something new on it. Yeah, no chance.
I'm a transfer slut, all right? I do. Yeah, he understands the reference.
He understands. Of course he does. Right then, shall we move on to the thing you've been waiting for the most? Yes? Are you ready for this? Are you ready? Be excited. It's happened. It's come out. It was released on Friday. And I happened to watch it before you because I'm a
because some of us have a real job, Jenks, all right? You watched it while I was in work in the office. I was like, What do you do with your time,
I had I had a little bit of a space, and I genuinely only jumped on it just to piss you off.
Yeah, I know.
I didn't really have time to watch it, but I thought, if it's on, it's only on for about an hour and a half, I can squeeze it in, and I
you ruined my work day.
I knew it would bother you, and it was so worth
I even
it.
text my girlfriend just to tell how angry I was.
It was funny, yeah, because I was meant to come up to your house on Saturday. I said, hey, let's watch VHS Beyond together. You said, no, I'm watching it when it comes out on Friday. I'm having a takeaway, doing it properly. And I thought, right, fuck you, and I'm watching it before you.
Oh, I did. I bought cans. I got a takeaway. Loads of snacks, lit candles, put candles on the table. Well, that was all my girlfriend, right? I can't take any credit for that. It was a lovely touch, all right?
And tell the viewers what happened.
What happened?
Yeah, what happened? You
fell asleep on the last segment.
Sick.
Because some of us don't get to work close to home here. I've got to travel into the office every day, all right? So it's a long working week for me, Jenks, you know?
Yeah, I know.
Drunk a bit too much.
If you loved it, you should have been like holding your eyeballs open and just like or standing up, marching, anything to stay away from your favourite film in the year.
To be fair, I did kind of switch off in the last segment anyway, a little bit.
Well, anyway, let's go on to the review. I'll start kick things off because I watched it first and I watched it all.
You're an asshole.
So, as you can probably tell, Curtis loves the VHS franchise, his favourite franchise ever. Not enough to stay awake, but I watched this on Friday. Now, they're hit or miss for me, jokes aside. There are some good ones and some bad ones, and some very bad ones. This one was a decent entry. I give it a solid 3 stars. It had some of the same problems as the other ones, and I suppose because this is the 7th one now, I think in the series, I think I've got to accept that this is the way it is. So the problem I have with it, these stories don't have start, middle, and ends. They're just cool scenes, like what if monsters attacked a building, or what if this. There doesn't really need a start, middle, and end. It's just a cool scene, and because it's 7 in now, I got to accept that that's the way it is, and that's it's not.
Or you could just stop watching them.
Well, I'm always searching for a good one. Now VHS 2 was excellent. Every segment was top notch, and there was a few good ones in VHS 84 or something. I forget the names.
94 is 94.
The one with the robot.
Yeah. 94.
Yeah, that was quite good. This one was decent. Now, this is more of a sci-fi one. They had 5 stories. It says it's 6, but it's not really 6.
Well, the wraparound story always counts as a 6 segment, yeah.
So there was 5 stories. Pretty much all of them are sci-fi related. They're still horror. They're still scary, but they're very alien orientated. Even the first segment is very zombies. You feel like you're going to shoot them up. It's great. It's clearly meant to be like Left 4 Dead and all these sort of things. That was my personal favourite, and they were all pretty decent. None of them were terrible, so I give it a bit of praise.
Okay, so as you said, I love this franchise. Now, I am all jokes aside, Jenks, I am the demographic for this because I just love pure horror and I love the aesthetic the VHS brings. I don't need the stories to be great. I just need to like what I see.
Yeah.
And that's exactly what VHS delivers, film after film after film. It's that old, shaky, bad quality camcorder feeling. It's always eerie, it's always unsettling. I don't need the stories to blow me away. I just need them to be entertaining.
Yeah.
And they've done it again. VHS Beyond comes out and it's probably one of the more solid ones. There's more good than bad in this one. I'd say there's only one segment I actually disliked, and that's Dream Girl by Virat Pal, and it's the one set in India. I didn't really connect with that story because many complaints you've had with this franchise, Jenks, is that it is just a monster that kills people, and I actually agree with you on this one. It was just pointless. You've got a big Bollywood star, these 2 fanboys break into the set, and she just starts killing people. She's a robot of some sort, and
monster-y robot,
monster
very vague,
robot.
isn't it?
and she just starts destroying everyone, and then it ends. And I thought, there's no point in it. And as far as I love the aesthetic, there's only so much that can go. Like I said, it still needs to be entertaining. I just didn't find it entertaining.
Do you know what I found as well with that segment, sorry, quickly, is that she mentions about, like, I like your face, and she starts taking her face off. And I thought, oh, this is going to be some kind of body swap kind of thing. And it's just like, nah, just monster.
No. It didn't go anywhere. So like you said, there's 5 segments. We've got Live and Let Die, directed by Justin Martinez. We've got Fur Babies, directed by Justin and Chris Long. We've got Dream Girl, directed by Violet Pal. Stowaway, written by Mike Flanagan, directed by Kate Siegel. And then we've got Stalk, directed by Jordan Downey. They weren't in order of appearance. Now, my favourite segment in this one is Live and Let Dive by Justin Martinez.
Yes,
this is the
skydiving
skydiving one. Now, I think this could well be in the top 3 best segments VHS has ever produced. The basis of this one, it starts, you've got a group of people up in the sky in a helicopter or airplane or whatever. They're about to do a skydive. While they're up there, in the distance, they see a spaceship. And their plane starts to shake, they all fall out. And then a majority of this is set with them falling from the sky.
Free falling.
Oh my God, it is so good. I don't want to go into it too much because they are short stories. You can't give too much away about the plot. That's about all I can say about it. But it is, oh my God, it blew me away. And it made me enjoy the rest of the film a little bit less. Now, it's usually a shared experience between the whole film. You can take it in as one movie because all the stories are kind of on the same level. But for me, this one was way up there and the rest were about here. So when I seen this one, I enjoyed the rest of the movie a little bit less. Not to say I didn't enjoy it, but they absolutely delivered a great segment with that one.
I think what was good about it, the wraparounds they do. I thought the wraparound was better and easier to follow.
It was my least favourite wraparound as well.
I'm not saying I don't even like the wraparounds in general, but the worst wraparound I've ever seen was the viral one, number 3, because it was just like an ice cream van.
With the ice cream van,
and it was just and it was cut in too much, too quick, too many cuts.
Yeah.
At least this wraparound was easy to follow, and it suited the style, with these sort of. It was basically like a documentary of people proving aliens, and they were showing this footage. Very easy to follow. It wasn't just like some people find a box of tapes. It made sense narratively. I loved the first one. I liked the zombies. It was quite, I wouldn't say scary, but it was good. It was an action-packed start. Didn't like the Fur Babies. Is that what it's called?
Fur Babies was great.
It started really well. Again, we can't go too much detail because it gives away, but it went a little bit too silly. And the last segment, the Mike Flanagan and Kate
Stowaway,
yeah. Again, it was a good idea, but I think it was a bit like just like.
Yeah, the problem is that was not VHS. Now, every segment is balls to the wall, go, violence, in your face action.
It's pretty
and
gory.
Then you've got, it's not, but compare it to all the other ones.
No, but it was full on body horror, the last one.
Yeah.
Like really
but what
horrible.
I'm saying is that you're on this high and then it's mellow as hell. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Maybe they should have ended on that skydive one for like, fuck, that was a good ending.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
That, I always say I love Safe Haven. It's Gareth Evans' segment in VHS 2.
Yeah.
It's not better than that, but they're probably my 2 favourite segments now. That's the picture from the Indian segment. She basically just does that for 20 minutes, just goes on ripping people apart.
And
I was gutted because it opened up so strong with Stalk. You've got the police raid this house because there's kids go missing and they trace it back to this house in the middle of nowhere. They get inside and it is a POV gun, balls to the wall short film where they're just going through this house and you've got, we say they're zombies, they're like zombies, but they're sort of like alien parasite type things. Yeah. And they're just jumping over the banisters, flying out of everywhere. You chop their heads off, they come back. It's just insane. And then it just dropped them with this one. I was like, no, keep that momentum going.
Yeah,
Do you know what I mean?
do you know as well, like I've been rewatching Black Mirror, right, recently, just
Yeah.
going through different ones, not each series, just go picking my favorites. And, I know you love this series, but that's the high end of short stories. When you go, I know these segments are like 15 minutes long, so it's less you can
Yeah.
do, and Black Mirror is longer.
But
But I do love
this
short
is the
stories.
thing, right? Is you can't compare it to Black Mirror, because if they wanted to, they could make this like Black Mirror. They could go, we're going to bring in great writers who are going to give us a story with a beginning, middle, and an end, and a really cool twist at the end. But they know exactly what they're doing. They're appealing to a certain audience.
No, I understand,
And
yeah.
these films are only getting bigger. I haven't seen anyone say anything bad about this movie. All the early reviews were great, and everyone is saying the same thing. It's the only horror franchise out there that 7 films in is still producing high quality content, and it's showing no sign of slowing down. I feel like with Shudder on it now, they're starting to get a lot of momentum. They've got a lot of money behind them. Every single time a VHS movie is released on Shudder, it breaks every single record that they've ever had. Now, Shudder isn't that big at the moment. It's starting to get traction, but these films are very popular. They know who they're speaking to, and they deliver exactly what you want from them. And that's why I love this franchise.
Yeah, and I do think that this was the highest production. I don't know.
100%.
I don't know whether they
The
spent
aliens, the aliens in the skydive one looked amazing.
Yeah, I don't know whether they were better at spending their money or they've got more money, but it looked slicker,
More money, I'd say.
smoother.
Yeah, like I said, Shudder are really starting to take off now, so we can only expect their original movies to get better.
Yes.
Another great poster.
Yeah, is that the same guy?
Yes, he did. I think, no, he did do a VHS Beyond poster. I don't know if it was this one, but he's done all the other ones.
Yeah, that's awesome, isn't it?
Yeah.
Did you? So you did? Did you go back to finish Stowaway?
Yeah, I finished it all, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I did like the idea. Like I said, I can't go into too much detail. There was
of
quite a
course.
horrifying concept because you don't know when it could end, as in like what it could, how long the horror would last.
Yes,
you know,
yeah.
Without giving it away, the story.
Yeah, no, it wasn't a bad story, but it just didn't match the intensity of the rest of the film. Do you know what I mean? And it's always a hard thing to do, to finish the movie. So it's like being chucked on the graveyard shift. So there's 5 segments. Your one gets chucked in 5th place, and you've just had to go through 4 other short films where you've got to go through a beginning and then an end, and then you've got to build it back up. And then by the time you get to the last segment, everyone's a bit deflated. Do you know what I mean?
Another blonde girl in Stowaway, she looks a spit of Kate Seagal. I thought it was her.
No,
I didn't think she looked like her.
No, I didn't see her.
Maybe it's a family member giving her a bit of
Maybe, yeah.
nepotism.
I don't think I seen that, to be fair, but I was.
Yeah, that's the reason I thought.
on the
This.
way out.
Well, when I saw her, I looked a bit like her. I thought, this must be the Kate one. And then I asked you which one it was. And you said Stowaway. Oh well, that makes sense. It's just
right, yeah.
a bit of a coincidence.
Yeah.
Yes, I would recommend this. This was if you like VHS, I'd recommend it. I would give this one a solid 3 stars. I get 4. I couldn't see my own hand then. 3 stars, 3 decent stories out of 5. So it's only fair give it 3 stars, and they were decent.
Very solid 4 stars for me. The only reason I wouldn't give this one 5 stars, and that's simply because VHS 1 and 2 are 5-star movies, because every segment is strong, and I love the wraparound stories. I didn't get on with the wraparound story in this one. It kind of took me out of the aesthetic of VHS. It wasn't grimy enough. It didn't feel raw. It felt like a really plush, well-made documentary. And I was like, well, this isn't what VHS is.
Yeah. And
specifically, if you look at VHS 2, you've got those group of people that break into that really grimy house. It's full of VHS tapes. There's a dead man on the couch. And then it's them putting the VHS tapes into the TV, and then that's when you see the segment. I love that, and that's what I love about the VHS movies. So the wraparound story took me out a little bit.
Yeah.
And I agree with you, Jenks. 3 solid stories, 2 weaker ones. but still a solid 4 stars. I loved it.
I know what you mean with the wraparound, because you had those guys who look at practical effects and stuff.
Yeah.
I don't know what they call it. They got a YouTube channel. They sit on the couch. They were in it. Do you know what I'm on about?
Yes,
in the
yeah.
wraparound, they were
Yeah.
judging the footage. They're a real YouTube channel, and they look at like stunts, and they look at stunts and practical effects. So it kind of felt it took you out of it a little bit, because it, like I said, didn't feel grimy, because they're almost like winking at the camera as if like, so VHS is cool now.
That was my biggest disappointment with this one. When I was watching, I was like, I don't like this. I don't like the way they've done this one. But we're here for the main stories, which is the main thing. I'm not gonna judge it too much for the wraparound story. It just, you needed to set the stories up. It kind of takes you into the film a bit more, you know.
Another thing I've noticed, I don't know if you noticed, but certainly in the zombie one at the start, they had background music, like a soundtrack, which was odd.
Maybe one of the cops had like a Walkman on his thing, you know.
It wasn't. No, it was proper background movie music, and I just thought, I thought it was meant to be found footage.
There was one point, right, where when the cop said, "Let me just turn my Walkman on,"
and that's when
let me just turn my Walkman on, and that's when it started, you know.
Fuck off.
Wait there, guys. Let me turn my Walkman on.
It's a bit like Day of the Dead, because they got music and that, and the woman says, "We put music in to add drama to but this is real footage." Oh,
for dramatic effect, yeah.
It's like, that's the charm of found footage, is that the music doesn't guide your emotions. It's just like you don't know when a monster's going to come, because there's no music to guide you at all.
Yeah, exactly.
Right, shall we do? Let me just read a few comments if it's in here. Oh my God, Ella, still hasn't seen any VHS.
They may not be for you if you haven't already seen them, but I would obviously highly recommend this franchise to anyone.
Right. If I would jump straight on to VHS 2, because that's the best one, and then if you love that, I think you'll be willing to sort of jump on other ones, because I think if you don't like the first one, you're probably never going to try the second one. And I think sometimes starting at the top one, it's not like everything's worse then. I think you just want to absorb as much VHS you can, you know?
Yeah, VHS 94 is a very, very strong entry as well. I love that one, with Ratman.
Which one? Which one's that?
94 is the one we watched together. It's the one with Ratman in it.
I didn't like Ratman. I liked the robot one, and there was a few in it I liked, and the alien. Yeah. Oh no, the alien one was number 2. To be honest, it's a bit blurry. There's a lot of segments, you know, and each one is quite similar. It's not like each VHS has a very distinct tone. They all can be pushed into one, you know.
Of course, because they're just constantly made by different people. So it's
Shall we attempt to have a Q&A? If anybody wants to ask us a question, I will be more than happy to answer. Before we hopefully have any questions, as I've been ill for the past since Wednesday, I've been catching up on a bit of homework, watching Friday the 13th. Now, I have seen loads of them, but I've never watched the earlier ones. I saw the first one, the 6th one, the 7th one, 8th one, 9th one, 10th one, but never saw the 2nd, 3rd, 4th, or 5th. And I've been caught up now. I'm on the 5th one now. And I can't wait for number 6, because that's probably my favourite one. Because Jason gets stacked, been training in the afterlife.
Part 4 and Part 6 are the best. Those two are way out in front.
Well,
and
I know you were chuffed that I liked Part 4.
Yeah, absolutely. It's one of my... Well, it's my favourite slasher movie of all time. I love that film.
Oh, the difference between 3 and 4 is like night and day. Like... They finally understood the what Jason is, and the characters are better.
They brought Tom Savini back, and that's exactly why Part 4 is so good. Tom Savini... He's just practical effects guy, isn't he? No, he's not. He's so much more than that. Like, if you hire Tom Savini, you're hiring an assistant director. Like, that guy brings so much more than just practical effects. And he created Jason. Like, he had the idea for Jason. So Jason's his baby, so when he's on set, you've got to kind of listen to him.
Everyone brings their own game, probably.
Exactly.
I just thought, like, everything about, like, number 3 was better than the second one. Second one, I struggled with. It was just a guy with a sack. He wasn't very scary. It didn't seem like a strong man. But when but when he's in number 4, it's a shame it's like the final chapter, because it was a bit like a bit like Saw 3 when they kill Jigsaw off. We're thinking, oh, that's just as the peak now, and you've got to figure out ways now to bring him back. Anyway, let's do some of these. So, Abigail, any other recommendation for new movies?
I have got one. There is a new movie on Netflix called It's What's Inside. I wouldn't say it's a horror movie. It's got horror elements. It's more of a psychological sci-fi thriller about a group of friends that get together for a pre-wedding party at one of their houses. They're rich. They got a massive house. And an old friend who they haven't seen for 8 years turns up to the house with a briefcase and asks them to play a game. Now, there's a lot of friction there. There's a reason they haven't seen this person in 8 years. There's something that happened a long time ago that could have had them pissed off. And he brings this suitcase, like I said, and asks them to play a game. And it's one of the most original concepts I've seen in a long time. I love this film. Tonally, it's very similar to Bodies, Bodies, Bodies. It's got the same vibe, but this one is a lot more intelligent. Very good film. I think it's right up your street as well,
I will
Jenks,
watch
to be
it.
honest.
You convinced me.
Yeah, of course you will.
I tell you what I'd recommend. Not a film, but it's, if you haven't seen it, season 3 just started. It's From. Now,
Oh, yes.
Now, there's only 2 episodes, or 3 just come out. I'm waiting for a few more. But From is amazing. Now, it's not as popular as it should be, because it's the same makers as Lost. It's got a good cast, a brilliant premise. So it's about this town where you can't get out. No matter where you drive, you always end up back to the start. And
But you can get in, yeah?
You can get in, and when nightfall comes, these horrible creatures come out of the woods, and you've got to hide. And that's all I'm going to say. Let me put it this way. The creatures are the most frightening things you've ever seen in your life.
Because they're just human.
Oh, but it's got a Salem's Lot vibe when they're like tapping on the window like an old granny, and oh my God, it's so creepy.
The opening scene on the first season with the grandma in the window.
Oh, when I stuck around, I thought, oh, this is right up my street, granny in the window.
Yeah. What I will say about it is that, like you said, it's not as popular as it needs to be. It is really starting to pick up traction now. I think.
It's got 3 seasons, so that's decent enough, I think.
Yeah, exactly. I think it's going to be one of those shows. By the time season 4 comes around, I think it's going to have a huge following.
Yeah. The only thing I'm worried is if they are, because it's the same makers as Lost. They're adding they're answering questions and then adding new things now for you to work out. Now, I like that, but I hope they don't pile on to the point where they kind of paint themselves into a corner and they don't answer everything like they did with Lost. Do you know what I mean? It was really frustrating.
Yeah, 100%.
But yeah, I recommend it. Don, do you like the Halloween franchise and the Scream franchise? We were just talking about that on air, and we both agreed Halloween is one of our least favourite franchises, I think, isn't it?
No, I didn't say that. I just said... No, I didn't. I said Halloween is a weak franchise overall as a whole, but I love Halloween. Like I said, Halloween 1 and 2, Halloween 3, and then the new trilogy are top class. Like I suppose
it's clocked up quite a lot there now. I've never liked Michael Myers. My least favourite.
Yeah, I love Halloween. I don't know what you're talking about.
I liked the first one, and I didn't mind when I saw it H2O. And I don't like any of the others. Do you know what the problem with Michael Myers, if you compare him to Jason, certainly later Jason and Freddy, is that he's just a guy and he walks and he's not supernatural. So it doesn't seem, and he keeps surviving too much, at least with Freddy, he's supernatural, doesn't matter. But he just seems to be just survive. He got shot in the head in one of them and he was all right the next one. And he got his head cut off in number 6. Come on.
He just give a swift hand.
Yeah, hey, my bloody head. It's just ridiculous.
No, I am a huge fan of Halloween, but I just think as a whole, it's a weak franchise. I feel like Friday the 13th has more solid entries, but to be fair, with the new trilogy, you're still looking at like 5 or 6 solid movies in Halloween now, so it's not that bad. Scream. Love Scream. Who doesn't love Scream?
Scream is one of the most consistent, I think.
Yeah, there's only one of them I actually dislike, and it was the sixth one, the newest one.
I
hated it.
I don't know the box office numbers, but it's got to be the most successful horror franchise, Scream, isn't it? No, box office numbers has to be.
It's got to be up there, but yeah.
It's been mainstream everywhere. Not one of them has fallen off a cliff. They've always been successful, and they've always been big cinema entries. Like, you know, I suppose Freddy Krueger was making money, but not like Scream. You know, you got big actors in it, in a TV show as well.
It's just a franchise that hasn't had a half-assed sequel. Do you know what I mean? They're always well made. They're so lucky that they keep getting the cast back. Obviously, Neve Campbell didn't do the last one, but that was just because of a pay dispute. Yeah. What's great about this franchise is that it is consistent, specifically with the cast members. It's definitely one of the most perfect franchises. Yeah. Shame about 6. Now, I don't think 6 is a bad movie, so I don't think it's tainted the franchise.
No, not at all. It's not. It's just weaker.
Yeah.
I could watch it again. If it was on, I could easily watch it. It's not a piece of shit.
No.
I think what maybe made Scream stand out as a strong franchise is because Wes Craven stuck around for 4 films, and it's kind of cemented it. So even if people took over 5 and 6, 4 films in, it's like, okay, we know exactly what works and what doesn't. So we know exactly what we're doing. Whereas the other films have always have different directors pop in and out, put their own take on it, and then things go up and down and goes a bit messy. But it's Wes Craven's baby, isn't it? I think that's what makes it different.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah.
Let's have a look at another one. Now we're talking. Wait, you're talking about From? Sorry. Yes. Yeah. Did you like Midnight Mass? We love Midnight Mass. Love it.
I was only talking about Midnight Mass yesterday to my girlfriend because I've watched it about 3 or 4 times now, and that's unheard of for me anyway for a series, because I spend so much time watching movies. I genuinely don't like watching series because it takes time away from movies. But I half wish that this was just like a 3-hour long movie because I love it that much. And every time I crave it, I'm like, it's 9 hours again. But it's worth it every time.
Yeah, it's an amazing show. My wife and I watched it when it came out, and
oh my god,
that's a masterpiece. I think that's what made me fall in love with Mike Flanagan's work. I was a little, like I've said a few times, disappointed with Blythe Manor. Didn't hate it, but it's just like,
where did you get Blythe from? You've added a TH.
No, there's a film called Blythe Spirit, I think.
Blythe Manor.
No, there's a film. I'm sure it's the Blythe Spirit, a ghost film, and I always mix it up.
Blythe Manor.
Yeah, I could be wrong, but it's Blythe Spirit, I think it's called, an old black and white horror film.
It sounds like an old Welsh lady. Blythe.
Yeah, I have to Google it, but I'm almost positive it's called Blythe Spirit. Anyway, yeah,
shit.
I love the House of the Fall of the House of Usher. Too many of them.
Oh my god! You know,
so good.
Just when you think, right, he can't do better, and I prefer Midnight Mass, but it's down to personal perspective, right? Yeah. Because I don't think it's particularly more of a masterpiece than Usher, but down to my personal preference, I prefer it, right?
Yeah.
And he does Midnight Mass, and then Usher comes out. Oh my god, just fucking insane. So
I loved it so much. It's every episode is brilliant. That was to be honest, I think his masterpiece is Midnight Mass, but it's the easiest to watch probably House of Usher, because there's so many characters, so many things happening, and you don't have to love every episode because every death is different and has a different story.
Yeah, because it's called Fall of the House of Usher, but every episode is based on a different Edgar Allan Poe tale, because you've got like the Black Cat, the Pit and the Pendulum.
Yeah, the Raven.
The Raven. So it's called Fall of the House of Usher, but it's Edgar Allan Poe. Like it's everything, and it's so inventive.
Yeah, it's amazing. I found Curtis Halloween VHS in a
charity shop, mind.
Oh, fair play. It's amazing. When I had loads of VHS, and I used to have a shitload. Right? I used to be like,
I remember coming up into your attic room.
And I think I used to collect any old shit. So if I had Batman I'd have to have them all. I had Van Damme, kickboxing, I'd have to have them all, even though they were shit.
Yeah.
I'd have to have everyone. And I sold them all to Blockbuster, 30 pence each. You could either sell,
Heartbreaking.
I know, you could either sell them to Blockbuster because DVDs were in, and it was like people saying, sell your VHS now, otherwise you'd be chucking them in a bin. And they were saying like 60 pence each for in-store credit or 30 pence cash. I was like, cash. She had about like £30 or something. It was a long
it's
time ago.
heartbreaking.
Yeah. Ella, have you seen Mean-Spirited? Re-enjoy this film. I feel like it's not... No, Noel. No, what's that? Have you heard of it, Kurt?
No, Mean-Spirited. Let's have a look.
My God, we haven't heard of something. How dare somebody...
2022 movie.
Is it horror or is it
horror.
comedy?
It says horror comedy.
See.
And it's on 2B.
2B.
I will check that out. And if I like the look of that, I'll give that one a watch, definitely.
Yeah, sure. The dance scene is totally melting, literally. Oh, yeah. Do you know what?
Totally melting,
I was thinking, when we were talking about it, I was thinking, that's horrifying, that scene. And all the after effects of that scene with the woman in it, without giving things away.
God.
It is so good and horrible.
Horrific, yeah. Oh.
Yes. It's just a personal errands of your brother.
I bloody know. I know we did. Mental.
Are we going to have a message? Your food's ready, Kurt. Hurry up with the podcast. Yeah.
Oh, I can smell food, actually.
What are you doing tonight then, Kurt? You going to watch any films?
I was going to watch Oddity tonight, but I got work in the morning. I'm too tired. So I'm rewatching Trailer Park Boys at the moment. I've seen it a million times. But I'm showing Trailer Park Boys to my girlfriend at the moment. We're 7 seasons in now, out of 12, 3 movies. So probably a few episodes of Trailer Park Boys in bed and then out cold, I think.
Yeah, I've seen Oddity. It's a decent ghost film.
I'm meaning to watch all weekend, but I haven't got around to it.
It is worth a watch. I would recommend. I think you'd probably enjoy it more than I did. I got a lot of respect for it because it looks like it's quite low budget, but it's got some creepy original elements. And I think maybe with a little bit more experience from the director, it might have been amazing. But just it's a little bit off, but I give it respect, you know?
Yeah.
Well, Hugh Uckridge, Salem's Lot. Now, funny you should say that. I watched the new one. It was on HBO, and it was all right. It wasn't as shit as everyone says, but it's not a patch on the original.
No one's calling it shit, Jenks. I think everyone everyone's in agreement that it's a decent film and it doesn't touch the original. I don't think anyone said it's shit.
I've seen lots of bad reviews. I've terrible
because
reviews.
Well, there's going to be bad. I've seen bad reviews for Substance. Like
what?
People are gonna. I've seen bad reviews for Substance.
What's wrong with people?
But I was chuffed, right, because this movie has been dumped on streaming in the US, and I was probably just going to wait for it to come on some sort of streaming over here.
Yeah.
But I went to cinema to see The Substance last week. Trailer for Salem's Lot comes up. Coming October 11th. So in the UK, we are getting Salem's Lot in cinema, which is a great result. I can't wait to see it in cinema.
It is, but I would say, like I mentioned to you the other day, that it does feel like a TV movie. I think if you see it on the big...
TV feels like movie these days.
No,
you know what I mean?
When you watch it, when you look at the aesthetics of it, it does feel like... Not a TV... It feels like a Stephen King miniseries on it, you know. Yeah. It doesn't feel like you're watching like The Green Mile or any of those. It feels quite low, and the acting's not great. And also it's a bit jarring because Homelander's the boy who plays Homelander's son from The Boys is in it, and because this film was made about 2 years ago, it couldn't get released. He's really small in it. He's like a toddler, and it's like, and he's quite old now in The Boys. His voice is broken. He's much taller. It's like, my God, it must be a good 2 or 3 years sitting on the shelf, isn't it?
Yeah.
Right. Shall we wrap it up there before I cough my lungs out?
Yeah. I'm happy to wrap it up.
Right. I really thank you for all your comments, guys. Apologise for my coughing. I've soldiered on. I would never not do a podcast, even if I was just dying in bed, puking. I just still soldier on. Because you've done it a few times, and I'm
too many times now. It's mental.
You've had sunstroke, you've had flu.
Flu twice, sunstroke. I want to say one thing quickly. We've always got the same people, right? Every single Sunday that come to watch our lives. You are all awesome. Thanks to every single one of you for jumping on every Sunday. You're the only reason we're still doing lives, because we're happy to jump on here and chat with you guys. So thank you so much to everyone who jumps on every Sunday. You're awesome.
Yeah,
thank you.
And you know, it does, like when you first start, people say like when you first start doing lives, you just got to accept you're going to talk to nobody and then gradually build up. But it's great we're actually talking to real human beings who actually love horror, you know?
Yeah.
And it's special. And I got to say, I love doing lives. And it's a strange thing because I was ill. I would rather do a live show ill than I would do one of our pre-recorded ones, because you've got
there's more pressure doing pre-recorded.
You've
Much more pressure.
But this one, you can sort of be forgiven a little bit, you know.
Because if we're doing a pre-recorded and I fluff lines up or mess up, we got to stop, go back and record it again. Whereas on live, you can go with it, like.
Yeah, nobody cares. I know, that's what I love about it.
It's great.
But I love it.
Yeah, thank you so much, guys.
Very appreciative, and you're on the same journey as us. We have newbies of this. We haven't even been doing a year. I remember the first time we said let's just do it. It was about 2 years ago, and we talked about it. We had a few practices on my phone. I recorded it, just talking about a film, and we we bounce off each other quite well, and we procrastinated for ages. Yeah, and it's just, and our first few videos, we don't recommend them. That, you know, I'll show people like how far we've come, and we've got a long way to go. But it's been it's quite cool to show, like, look at our first video and look at our video now.
Yeah, I know, it's crazy.
Yes, I love it.
Yeah,
and it makes me quite proud. But I think what's helped is two of us, so we've been able to improve quickly because we've been bouncing off each other, you know, critiquing back and forth.
Oh, 100%.
And it's much harder if you're on your own, I think, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I critique you more than you critique me because I'm just perfect. But I'm just trying to make you a better person, you know.
No, I love it, and I think we both learned to accept criticism, and we've just grown, and our channel is a lot better because of it. I think if we were both stubborn, we would just be still doing the same ones.
100%. Yeah.
Yes, but thank you guys. Guys, if you like our channel, not just subscribe, but tell everybody about it. Tell them to watch us, share us, tell your gran to watch us. We do swear a bit, but just about. Well, I swear a bit, not so much.
I try not to.
Yes. Right. Cheers, guys. If you enjoy horror reviews, subscribe, and we'll catch you on the next one. Thanks. Have a good night.
Cheers, guys.